rooftop. It's a beautiful place to be. Show you guys around a little bit. Anyhow, just wanted to have a little chat. Just yesterday, I did my first little live, and one of the things I realized is that I never really enjoyed doing live, or never really did it before, simply because it was an unknown territory. Never really knew the possibility. Never really knew the benefits of doing something like this. So this morning when I got up, I have some thoughts. I've got some Muse, and I thought I'll just jump on the camera and just have a little walk and chat with you guys, and keep this as a bit of a chronicle of this period of time, this little timestamp of the moment, what I was thinking, etc. And at the same time, touch on a couple of things like passion, motivation, taking action, procrastination, limiting belief, and some of those things. So here's something that I have practiced for a long time when I don't want to take action. And this is a common thing. This happens to us all at different times, different periods, different stages of life. For different reasons, we don't want to take action. So there might be times where you're mentally exhausted. There might be time when you are tired, you're physically tired. Might be time when you're unwell, you've got a tummy ache, you've got a headache, you've got some kind of a bone problem, you have an injury from workout or something like that, something along that line. And those are times when we don't like to take action. And what I realize is that somehow or rather, I've always found a way to take some action, even if it wasn't the work that I needed to do at the time. And my personal process was simply doing something that I feel passionate about. And I would do something like that to build momentum. So right now, as I'm thinking about this, I can see that someone's joined. Hi. So right now, as I'm thinking about this, I realized that in the past, I would try to take structured action, and those are hard. So you get up in the morning and you get into some kind of routine, and that is hard. It's not always easy. It's not always easy to get into doing the boring task. So to build momentum, what I would normally do is I would get up and do something that I'm passionate about. And right now, I'm passionate about experimenting with this live thing, or YouTube in general. So it's a little bit of a pet project, it's a little bit of a habit, it's a bit of a hobby. And in the past, I've tried something like getting up and immediately doing workout. I've done this for a long time. I had a 600 days streak. But at the time, I was passionate about habits, so that was easy. I would get up in the morning, as soon as my feet hits the ground, I would do some workout. And I literally did something like 630 or something days of workout. And that was amazing. That really helped me build a natural habit. And from that habit, I was able to build up a series of morning routine. And that morning routine turned into systems and processes that actually led into building systems and processes for my business. That was amazing. And really benefited from it. And I still, to this day, my life, my team, business, everything works around that system and the process that I've created. They're like huge databases of ways of doing things. Even doing things like YouTube Shorts, I'm doing the boring task. Like Paul Graham said, do the things that don't scale. So right now, for me, getting up in the morning, doing a YouTube Short, or throughout the day doing a YouTube Short, it's very manual, it's tedious, it's not that enjoyable, probably for most people, but for me, I like it. I like the fact that when I get up, when I do this manual task, I get to know every steps of making a short or making a YouTube live or experimenting with a YouTube post. This whole thing is a little bit new to me. So what I've done yesterday is, when I was doing this, I actually started typing down all the steps, exactly the way I edit for example, YouTube Shorts or a video, things like this. And at some point down the track, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to delegate this whole thing to some of my team members. That's going to be a little bit down the track. So for you as well, when you are passionate, that's the time you need to take action. When you're passionate about something, you need to take that particular action. Let's just say hypothetically, you need to get up every morning and need to pay some bills. Things that happens to me all the time, right? We might not feel passionate or encouraged or enthusiastic about paying bills. However, there might be something that you are passionate about. Let's just say you might be passionate about getting up in the morning and drawing, or maybe whatever it is that floats your boat. Maybe you're passionate about programming. There's a period in my life. Every morning I would get up in the morning and I would do programming, I would do maths and things like this when I was in the universities, and that helped me. So what I realized is that this part of the morning, the first thing in the morning, the most valuable thing that I figured that I could do is learning, innovation, and growth. I put the whole thing under this one single title, and I call it learning, innovation, or growth. So, and if that is something that you're passionate about, then you can grow faster. So rather than doing something that you're not passionate about, if you do something that you're passionate about, it's going to be a huge leverage. You're going to want to do more. You're going to want to do a lot more, a lot faster, etc. In the past, I was obsessed with morning routine and things like this, where I would get up and try to follow an entire list of things of morning routine. But then I realized that sometimes when you have a whole stack of things to do, depending on how urgent it is, you can just get up and get straight to work. Sometimes I wouldn't even get ready or worry about coffee or anything. Like, I just go and straight to work, right? So that really helped me. So anyhow, the suggestion here is, what I'm trying to get at is this idea that find your passion and then make that the first thing that you do as soon as you get up in the morning, if you can. Because that will fuel you. What I find is there's a lot less energy we can spend when we're not passionate about something, right? If you have to do a job first thing in the morning when you get up, well, it's hard. But if you can work on your passion as soon as you get up, well, that's powerful. That's huge leverage. You're not going to get tired. You just keep doing it for as long as you can, and then go do something else. And I'll give you some examples of what I have done over the years and what really helped me. So in my university years, I remember I used to program for about 2 to 4 hours every morning. And that was fantastic. Within a year, I was able to master front-end development. That really, really helped me. And that was my formal certificate at the time, and I was able to get some job around it. So that was amazing, and that eventually turned into client contracts, deals, etc., etc. That really helped. And that's how I learned. Every morning, first thing in the morning, I'll get up, I'll spend anywhere from 2 to 4 hours of math and programming. And that was amazing. That was my teenage years, right? And that really helped. There's another period of my life where I was really, really focused and passionate about habits and routines. It all started with reading the book Atomic Habit. And a fantastic idea. I actually read probably about half a dozen books on the subject of habits. So, and I'll give you the list of some of the books. So, read The Power of Habits, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Atomic Habits, Mini Habits, Tiny Habits, all of these sort of stuff. I would say Tiny Habit probably was the most helpful book. It was written by, I forgot the name of the author, but I think it's called B.J. Fogg. One of the things that he talked about is chaining your habit to some natural action. So rather than using any apps, rather than using any tools, he basically said that if you already do something, let's just say hypothetically, let's just say first thing in the morning you get up and drink a glass of water. And he said that if you want to build a habit, make sure that as soon as you put the glass on the table, take the next action. Something that you're trying to build up. And what I did is I created myself a workout habit, and my practice was as soon as I get up in the morning, first thing in the morning, as soon as my feet hits the ground, I will do a single push-up. that was incredible because the single push-up turned into doing a 1 minute workout practice, and I would basically just do three sets of something. So it was, I think it was a long time ago. It was, I think, a number of push-ups, some floor runs, and a couple of workouts with my hands and a couple of moves with my hands and arms, etc. And the whole thing would literally be done before it's 1 minute. Like within 40 seconds, I can do like, a few moves, and that was fantastic. And I said this was my action to get out of bed and go anywhere else. So before I would go to the bathroom, I'd drink any water or anything, first thing in the morning, as soon as my feet hits the ground, I would go out and I would do a bit of workout. And that really, really helped, guys. So I did not increase that habit for about 30 days. I said, for 30 days, I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to do the same reps for 30 days without a miss. And what I was doing is I was very slowly reading Atomic Habit as I was doing it. So that really helped. So after that 30 days, I said, okay, I'm going to increase this 1 minute of practice into a 10-minute practice. And then I increased again, etc., etc. But not too much, not too much. But here's something that I did wrong, and this is actually hard. This is another thing that I recently learned, is admitting that here's something that I've done wrong. We don't like to admit. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of, understanding to be able to say, hey, I was wrong with something. Because a lot of times we actually learn better, faster from somebody else's mistakes. So anyhow, I'm zigzagging into so many ideas. This is why I call this a muse. Basically, as the thoughts come in, this is completely unfiltered, unedited. I'm just going to tell you guys. So anyhow, one of the things that I did wrong was I kept increasing. So eventually I read this book called Mini Habit, and the book promotes this idea that once you have a habit, don't try to increase it. Just keep your habit minimal and never increase it. Just keep it at that. So for example, if you wanted to do push-ups, just do it for, let's just say you want to do one push-up, and you just keep it at that and just never increase it. Just say every morning I will do minimum of 1 push-up, and if I feel like it, I'll do 10 or 20 or whatever. And that is really powerful. So that idea helped me because it's kind of a liberating idea that, okay, if I get into a position of push-up, or if I do something, I don't have to have this mighty goal. All I have to do is just have this mini habit and stick to it. That's it. So anyhow, so back to this chain of thoughts of all the things that I've done over the years. So I've managed to do that workout habit for multiple years. And on my habit tracking app, I used an app called Habitify, and I was able to track for over 600 days, 630 or something. Maybe one day I'll show you guys the screenshot. And that really, really helped. So again, that was something that I did first thing in the morning. And I was passionate about those things, and I capitalized on my passion at the time. Right now, I am a little bit passionate about YouTubing and videoing and exploring this concept of making videos, shooting reels and all that sort of stuff, and see how far I can go with this idea. Again, I'm going to capitalize on this. As soon as I get up, first thing in the morning, I get on the roof, I share a little thought. And it doesn't have to be edited. It doesn't have to be filtered. You just need to do the reps, because there are so much friction in our action. So if you want to become an athlete, the job of doing the workout, the actual workout is hard. It's not hard. But getting rid of the friction, like preparing your breakfast, getting your clothes ready, that's hard. That takes time. That takes effort. Getting people around you to understand the fact that you're trying to achieve a certain goal is hard. That's harder, much harder than doing the workout. Same goes with building a career, building a platform, building a business, anything. Like, getting the friction removed is harder. So how do you remove the friction around your idea, your passion? Well, this is my way. This is something that helped me. What helped me was just repeating an action that works, a minimal action. Because every time I do the minimal version of the action, a small friction gets removed. And then I become a little bit more fluent on that thing, whether it may be learning a language, whether it may be building a business, building a platform, whatever. I'll give you an example with YouTube, for example. So I recently decided that I'll get on YouTube and do videos and things like this. And then I realized that there's this thing called shorts. And I realized that my videos doesn't have to be so long. So what I decided, I will do a little bit of editing every day because I feel energetic about it right now. And every time I do it, I will do a little improvement. And hopefully you guys can see it in some of the edits. And I actually did a lot of them myself. So I changed the thumbnail a little bit, I changed the video a little bit, I changed the platform that I'm using a little bit. So the CapCut, I'm learning a little new thing in there. Every day, I'm micro learning. So if you're just publishing one single video, it's so easy. If it's just 1 minute video, it's so easy to make a simple improvement on that video. It's so easy. I'll give you another example of recent interactions. I was talking to someone I know, and he wanted to be on YouTube for a long time. And all I said to him is, well, why don't you just shoot something right now? Just get on the camera and say something. Friction there was this idea that he felt like he had to edit things, he has to put a music on, he has to be nice, be careful, all that sort of stuff. But really, all he needed to do is get on the camera and just talk about something, just like I'm doing right now. It's unedited, unfiltered, no makeups on, and that's okay. And I give you the same challenge. Like, there's a couple of people right now here live. There might be, more listening to this later on. I'll give you a challenge. Why don't you say to yourself, okay, this is something that I've wanted to do. I wanted to do for years and years, and I haven't taken an action. Well, here's a suggestion. Why don't you do it for 1 minute today? Don't talk about it. Don't need anybody in the world to show it, see it, know it, or anything. Simply just do it. If it's YouTube related, we'll take a 1 minute video. If it's business related, well, just take action. Write about it. Here's a few common things that you can do for most ventures, most ideas, most plans. You can always plan for it. I had a system called 4-minute power plan, and I used it in the past. And all I would do for 4-minute power plan is simply just make a 4-step plan. This is the 4 things I'm going to do. This is the 4 immediate action that I'm going to take for this particular plan. You want to travel to a certain country? Well, what will be the first 4 things that you need to do? You want to get into a healthy routine? What's the first 4 thing you're going to do? You want to, let's just say, get into a relationship? What's 4 things that you can do? All right? So whatever it is in our life that we want to fix, there's always a handful of things that we need to do. Maybe 3 or 4 things. Start with that 3 or 4 things and just see if you can do it. So anyhow, what I was talking about is all the things that I've managed to do in the morning, first thing in the morning. So I talked to you about programming. I did it for years. I talked about workout. I did it for years. Right now, doing YouTube, and I'm hoping that I can do it for a substantial amount of time. Probably not do the same thing, because at this point in life, what I've learned is that once you can systemize anything, you can delegate it to somebody else. That will do it for cheaper and probably better because they are a specialist on this. To give you an example, right now I do video editing. This is something that I'm taking as a hobby, so I don't mind if it's not perfect. I don't really care if it's not great. But I'm going to do it for a certain period of time until I find somebody better and until it's viable to hire somebody and they can do it. They will do it better than me. They will do it faster than me, and they will probably be learning it every day as well. So it will get better and better over time. There was a point of time where I would get up in the morning and make a phone call. Every morning I will make a phone call and talk to one of my clients. or a client. There was a point in time where I have had for a couple of years get up in the morning and talk to a team member. So all of these things, you can see a pattern. You can see a pattern here when you do these type of things. Is this simple pattern that it's action repeated. So when you repeat an action, that's when you get better. It doesn't matter what the action is. It doesn't matter. Just choose an action that you can happily, consistently repeat, and you will get disproportional result. And that's it. Simple as that. You will get disproportional result if you keep repeating over and over and over again something. So there's an idea that I talk to my team with, and I call it the Mozart level understanding. So what is Mozart level understanding? Well, it's a specialist knowledge, basically. So for a lot of you, you might, let's say you're a designer. There's going to be little tips and tricks and special things that you would know that nobody else would understand. Years and years ago, I became a top-rated power seller on eBay. And I remember there are little tricks that I knew about eBay, about the platform, that most people wouldn't know. Every morning, I would go to my product and I will reduce the price by 1 cent. And that would give me an edge to be the, on that category, to be the lowest price product. So it'll be right on top and we'll get a lot of sales. Just 1 cent difference. If you're on, stock market, again, this is another thing that I tried for a while. Recently, I spent a lot of time learning about investment. That's something new, and I really enjoyed that. And I know that sooner or later, I'll be able to be more in the market. It's something that I learned and I enjoyed, and I understand this now. Again, when I was doing this every morning, first thing in the morning, I would get up and I would check the market, and I created a bunch of tools around it, automated tool that actually checks the Australian market and things like this. This was interesting. So all I'm trying to get at, guys, is that there is something that you wanted to do in the past. Maybe you do right now, and it's worth repeating that. Maybe it's worth creating a system and a process around it to be able to repeat it first thing in the morning, and do it for as long as you have energy, as long as you feel passionate about it, as long as you have a vision around it, as long as you feel like that is something that can help you grow. So anyhow, that was about 22 minutes. First time I've been, again, this is a first, and it's the first time I've been on a live for 22 minutes. And again, it's a muscle building exercise, and I want to have this snapshot. Excuse me, guys. So I want to have this snapshot of this moment of time of how I'm progressing. What are some of my thoughts? First thing in the morning, I'll try to share some thoughts, some things that are hopefully somewhat helpful for you guys. And maybe in the future, we'll take these videos and turn them into reels or something else. But it really doesn't matter to me who's watching this. Little snapshot that will stay behind for me to look back at in the future and remember the kind of things that I was thinking at the time, at the moment, etc. Other than that, guys, hope you have a passionate day ahead. Hope you crush some of your limiting beliefs. Just take 1 minute of that action that you never have taken, and just see how it feels. I think progress and action equals happiness. I've heard that from Tony Robbins. It's fantastic. And I have the same hope for you, that you find a way to be passionate about something and take some action, and hopefully that brings some happiness in your life as well. So thanks, guys. Hope you find it helpful. And I'll chat to you guys later again. Take care.